Namaskar and welcome to NFL Masala. I'm your co-host Sanam.
And I am your other co-host, Rakshak. Welcome to Season 4, Episode 14 of NFL Masala, where we talk about all the latest happenings in the NFL with a little bit of spice. How you doing today, my man?
We are just chugging along. First week of the NFL regular season is in the books, which means you guys know what's going to happen today. We are going to be recapping what happened in week 1 and then previewing what will happen in week 2. What we say is going to happen. We are your fortune tellers. We are your future seekers. So let's get started with some Dhamakedar news, shall we, Rakshak?
Yes, but before we do that, we understand since we're recording on Wednesday, September 9th, it's September 10th. Tomorrow will be a very solemn day in September 11th. So with that, let's do a quick moment of silence to remember the victims of that day. Thank you.
All righty, let's get started with some Dhamakedar news. A lot of
news.
Injuries, man. What just happened? It's like half the entire famous players just up and decided to get injuries. They don't decide. Shit just happens, unfortunately. The 49ers are a cursed franchise. I mean, Brock Purdy has just been diagnosed as a long shot for week 2. That is the 49ers newly minted long-term starting quarterback who did not play that great versus the Seattle Sea Chickens, but he is dealing with a toe and left shoulder injuries that happened during the second quarter of the win against the Seattle Sea Chickens, but it was a terrible game. So
we'll get to it.
Yeah, we will get to it. Kyle Shanahan did say it's going to be a long shot. Whether Purdy might miss multiple games as he recovers from his injuries, Shanahan said it's possible. And as we know from the 49ers history, it's possible basically means I have no fucking clue.
Yeah. It's insane. Everyone is like the injury gods are demanding more. What shall we do? And speaking of injuries, more on to the medical tests. According and I think this is a bit unfortunate. According to Todd Archer of ESPN, in Frisco, Texas, Dallas Cowboys could be without cornerback Deron Bland for a couple of weeks because of a right foot injury suffered on Monday's part.
What will ever happen to their defense if they don't have their number one player?
I mean, and apparently it sounds like it's not considered as serious, but his absence while Trayvon Diggs is still ramping up work, it's
And to all our listeners, I was just making a joke out there. I know the injuries are very serious, and these are human beings playing for our entertainment. Obviously, I understand that, but whenever you get a chance to take a dig at the Cowboys, you don't miss out on that chance. You got to do it.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's fine, and it's insane because because right now their other healthy corner is Kyer Elam from a trade. Then you have newcomers Reddy Stewart and Trickwise Bridges, who are both at Trickwise Bridges. It's an actual name. And if not, they could call up Zion Childress or whatnot. And I know that, and I'm gonna add another bit of Dhamakedar news. They did bring in Jadeveon Clowney, deep Pro Bowl and veteran defensive end.
He's their Micah Parsons replacement.
Don't give a shit.
Then shivers down every opposing offense.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all.
All righty. Speaking of more injury news, this time again with the 49ers, It is now George Kittle, who has been placed on IR, meaning he's going to miss at least 4 games with a hamstring injury. And he also sustained this injury in the first half of the game against the Seattle Sea Chickens. So George Kittle will miss the games against New Orleans, Cardinals, Jags, and the Rams. Now, the first 3 games are okay. It's fine if he misses that. But the Rams, especially after this week, it looks like it's the Rams division to lose, honestly, with the way that the 49ers have been looking, with the way that the Seahawks have been looking. And especially with all these injuries, it's just a little too much, I think, for this 49ers offense to maintain any momentum. And that, too, they also waived their 3rd-round selection kicker, Jake Moody.
Oh,
Pro Bowler, maybe. I don't know. Future potential Pro Bowler because he was drafted in the 3rd round. Who knows? Probably not. They waived him just this past Saturday, I believe. And yeah, that is after Moody missed 2 field goals. A 27-yard chip shot and a 36-yard chip shot. Sorry.
I mean, no offense to kickers. I know like kickers have been missing a lot, but you got to make those kicks. It's a job security.
Mm-hmm.
So I could say.
And to replace Jake Moody, they did sign veteran Eddie the Money Pinheiro.
Eddie Pinheiro, potato, tomato. I think that's a double. Yeah, I think
locally known.
Yep, I honestly think that is a very good signing. They actually have a veteran kicker, but maybe they bring up Jake Moody into the practice squad so he could just get his confidence back.
Maybe that could be an option. Alrighty, well that's gonna be it.
Bro, we got bulletin board material for you guys. I don't know if you just saw this, but apparently, I know this will come into your preview, but Dan Quinn quipped about the Packers game record Michael Parsons just now. He said I'd sit him this week.
Oh, is that a threat, Mr. Quinn?
And
okay, we got a couple things coming for you then.
Okay, we'll talk about this now. But I'll also say this. Another big one that happened today. And there's a bit of a health this is all sad news happening, man. But I'll say this: the New England defensive coordinator Terrell Williams will be away from the Patriots for a few days. He's dealing with an unforeseen health issue, according to Coach Mike Rabel. So he didn't disclose whether Williams will miss the game on Sunday. The game Sunday in Miami is unrelated to the health issue Williams had in the spring that caused him to be away from the team during the rookie minicamp. So, with that being said, hope you get well, my man. That's all I will say.
Alrighty. That's going to be it in terms of the Makadar news. We are going to get started with our week 1 preview, week 1 recap. My apologies. Starting with the greatest team ever known in NFL history, the Green Bay motherfucking Packers. We have officially retaken the NFC North. It is our division now. We have been the older brother who has been silent as the younger brothers have just grown up and gotten like 20 pounds of muscle on them and just watched silently in the background as they started to get all the attention. But no, now we have learned jiu-jitsu. Now we have learned Muay Thai, and we're going to come to kick your asses. That's exactly what we did to the Lions. Complete smackdown. I mean, it's complete smackdown. I don't know if you saw the game, Rakshak.
I did. Wait. Hello. Is this the police calling? Because I am looking for the Detroit Lions. I don't think they are here. Do we need to put a bolo or an APB out, please?
Yeah, both. Put them on the missing watch list for on the FBI.
To be honest, I'll say this: I was watching a different Lions team play because.
Yep. And
you need to talk about it. To tell us all about it.
Yeah, I mean, it is a different Lions team, right? It's not just the lack of coordinators. It's like their testosterone just ran low. They were not playing like men. They got out physical by the Green Bay Packers, which is completely unlike any Dan Campbell's previous teams. It was very shocking to see such a massively depressing performance from a Lions fan. Like, if it was competitive and if it was a sloppy game, like, 18-17, like I had predicted, and the Packers won, okay, fine. At least the Lions would have been like, okay, it's going to take a little bit of time for our offense to gel. But hey, at least our defense is good. They kept the Packers offense in check, and maybe, who knows, in our second matchup, we might have the upper advantage. Who knows? But now, when you look at this, it might just be week one jitters. It might just be the fact that it is week one. Everybody's just coming back from off season. They need to get back into the NFL shape. They need to get NFL ready. If you are not NFL ready by week one, you are doing a complete injustice, because the week one is filled with division games, which are going to have massive repercussions towards the end of the season, especially in a tight division like the NFC North. So, sure, that can be an excuse, but that's a shitty ass excuse if you tell me. But yeah, when you look at the way that the Lions had performed, it was not that they weren't trying, it's that they just got manhandled by both sides of the Green Bay Packers.
Can I say, in the words of Stephen A. Smith, and I quote from them, they've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok. Yep. I mean, I thought it was at the point it was so ugly. I thought the Packers, they didn't even need to try. I mean, honestly, I'll say, and I know you'll get on to more of this, but my last point is, I thought they played a perfect game up and down. There's a couple of things, but they had a great game plan and they executed it.
Yeah, I mean, I have to give kudos to Jeff Hafley. I mean, our defense was fan-fucking-tastic, Super Bowl level defense, very reminiscent of our Super Bowl teams. They played with their hair on fire. 4 sacks, 1 interception generated. Evan Williams, genius pick, but obviously that was because of one man, Mr. Micah Parsons. Oh my God. I will get a Micah Parsons jersey and I will start wearing it, because
I have a jersey bit for you. Between Abhishek and you, if the Packers beat the Cowboys, he has to wear a Green Bay Micah Parsons jersey.
Oh, we will. He has to.
He better come to the episode.
Uh-huh. It is written in destiny. But yeah, so when you look at the way that Micah Parsons influenced this game, especially from the defensive standpoint, he was there for less than 50% of all the defensive snaps. He was only there for like 29 or 30 snaps. He generated 3 pressures and he generated a sack. Now, those numbers might not mean a lot, but when you watch the game, when you watch the amount of resources that were dedicated at stopping him, that just completely opened the floodgates for every single other Green Bay Packer defensive player to have their moment. And you saw that, right? Like, Micah Parsons only has 1 or 2 pressures, depending on which statistical agency you look at. And a pressure, for those of you who are first-time listeners, as we've had a couple of new followers now in the past couple of weeks, a pressure is basically when a defensive player hurries up the quarterback. When there is pressure put on the quarterback, when they get past the offensive line, that is defined as a pressure. Now, it is kind of subjective, which is why it differs a little bit from different statistical agencies, but it is a great way of indicating just how effective a specific pass rusher is. Now, When you look at the pressures created, overall pressures created by every Packers defensive lineman, defensive player versus Detroit, Micah Parsons only has one or two, or sorry, two or three. Rashawn Gary had 5. LVN had 4. Devontae Wyatt had 4. Carl Brooks had 2 pressures. Edgerrin Cooper had a pressure. Even Colby Wooden had a pressure, and a beautiful TFL. When the way that he said it, it was the play where the Lions were on their goal line, or near their goal line, and the interior of that offensive line for the Lions, very inexperienced, has a couple of rookies there, has a guard who is now playing center, so pretty inexperienced in terms of communication. And they just parted like the Red Sea for David Montgomery to just face Colby Wooden. And David Montgomery tried to evacuate that area, but there's no getting around Colby Wooden. Colby Wooden got that TFL, and that was just a fantastic play. So when you look at the overall defensive performance, right, from a pass rushing standpoint and from a pass defense standpoint, phenomenal, right? You held, let me pull up the specific stats here, but you held, come on, where was it? There we go. You held Jared Goff to only 225 passing yards, and that too in garbage time where he got a lot of those passing yards, but he did have a 52.8 QBR, 4 sacks, right? And he was almost pressured every single pass play. I think he was pressured on over like 50% of pass plays and dropbacks for Jared Goff. So, breaking the Micah there news, actually. The Packers have extended wide receiver Christian Watson on a 1-year deal.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. $11 million base extension. So he's under contract for 2 years and nearly $13 million. $6 million all guaranteed, which all of them are signing bonus. And the $11 million also includes a 46-man roster bonus next year. Presumably, it's because they just want him to make sure that he takes this year as a healing year. Excuse me. So, yeah. Now, enough about the pass defense. I can't say enough about the pass defense because it was so fucking fantastic. But still, enough about the pass defense. Let's talk about that run defense. That same run defense where all those Cowboy fans trying to save themselves and trying to justify themselves were like, Micah Parsons, he sucks at run defense. Thank God we let him go because his run defense was so bad. And we got Kenny Clark because he's better at run defense.
Yeah. There was no run game from the Lions, man.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. 22 plays, 46 yards. And the 7 plays that Micah Parsons was on the field against the run, do you want to guess how many total rushing yards we allowed?
Total, I'm hearing less than 50 yards. I'm going to say 46 between David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs.
Just when Micah Parsons was on the field. That is the overall total.
When Micah Parsons was on the field, I'm going to say 30.
-2.
What?
-2 yards on the 7 plays that Micah Parsons was on the field against the run. That's what I'm saying, man. That is what I am saying.
My goodness.
He has a network effect on everybody. Because he's in the lineup, everybody else around him performed so much better. And he was singing LVN's praise like nobody's business. So I am super, super excited about this defense. I mean, everybody just played at 120% energy because that is what Micah Parsons brings to the table. And you could see the stadium too. The stadium was literally shaking with the amount of noise that we were generating when Micah Parsons was on the field. And then the sack came. The Micah Parsons sack. I just have to show. Where's the video? Come on, give me the video. Okay, hold on. I need to search for this because there was a great. Someone said that. Oh yeah. Someone said that his sack was like a lion hunting a gazelle. And it looks basically like that.
Oh my Lord.
Where is it? Come on. Give it to me. Okay, I think I found a good one. Yeah, okay. I found the original tweet. Let me share my screen. All right, can you see my screen?
I can now see your screen.
He's about to be chased by Parsons. Look out! He's got him! His first sack as a
look at the sideline.
That is
like
beautiful.
He is the hero now. He is the hero for this team. Now, another hero that we have. Oh my God.
What?
Edgerrin Cooper, buddy.
The edge.
The edge. Quickly becoming one of the best linebackers in the game. Against Jahmyr Gibbs, 5 receptions, 5 targets, 9 yards. 9 receiving yards on 5 catches. That's it. You can't say anything more. You can't say anything more. I found another stat of another player who I've been, screaming my head off from last year. Mr. Carl Brooks had the 3rd highest pass rush win rate amongst interior defensive linemen this past week at 19%. This is the Micah Parsons effect. Everybody else around him gets remarkably better because so many resources are devoted to just him alone. All right, now let's talk about that offense. The Packers offense was clinical. I mean, Jordan Love, yeah, he had less than 200 passing yards.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't even need to try that much. Like, when you look at this Lions defense, Kirby Joseph, who was rated as like, oh my God, one of the best safeties in the league last year, he was completely invisible on the broadcast and was a complete non-factor during the entire game. He was tied. I think he finished the game with just 1 tackle. As a safety, 1 tackle, not a tackle for loss, just 1 tackle, because the Packers offense, specifically Matt LaFleur, are so good at scheming up wide open plays, but also Jordan Love had some of the wildest throws that I've ever seen during his career. Just like precision passing a la Aaron Rodgers, where there's like a great touchdown pass that he had to Tucker Kraft, which was right through, right down the seam and through the hands of one of the Lions.
That was a beauty.
It was just like my God, this is the LaFleur that this is the love that we know and love. And it's just like, so good, man. We had a drive where we had 2 plays, 2 completions, 65 yards, touchdown. Right? Like that is the level of execution that we were playing. And what is scarier for NFC North fans?
Mm-hmm.
We can get better. Josh Jacobs didn't have his best game. Jordan Love, there was obviously that pick 6 by Byron Branch that was called off. That would have made it 17-13. Who knows where the game could have gone from there, but it was a clinical performance nonetheless. And we beat them 27-13 technically on the final score, but that's 7 points from the Lions. The Isaac Tesla, touchdown.
Yeah, that was a good one. But I actually found something from Shane Happ of Eagles Pinpool Network regarding Micah Parsons. Did you know he had a 17.6% pressure rate when rushing against Penei Sewell in week 1? That includes 1 sack and Goff INT.
That's what I'm saying. Like he completely destroyed that offensive line for the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't even performing at 100%. He's literally just being acclimated slowly into this Packers, Packers defense and the scheme. And he still had that performance. So,
yeah.
Going back to the offense, this was one of the many times in the past couple of years where the Packers have targeted 10 receivers. 10 people caught a pass from Jordan Love. And none of them, except for Jaden Reed, had more than 2 catches. 2 catches, 68 yards, Romeo Dobbs. 3 catches, 45 yards, a touchdown, Jaden Reed. 2 catches, 30 yards, Dontavian Wicks. 2 catches, 16 yards, and a touchdown, Tucker Kraft. Even Matthew Golden, 2 catches, 16 yards. He still hasn't even been completely acclimated. There's so much to explore for this team, for this offense. We haven't even gotten started, and it was still this big of a victory. And lastly, I want to give a shout out to that special teams unit. For a long, long time, the Packers special teams has been a thorn in Packers fans' sides, constantly causing trouble, except for the Silver Fox, Mason Crosby. But this week, we had the second best starting field position, thanks to the new kickoff rules in week 1, and held the Lions to the 29th starting field position because our kickers and our kick returners and our punt returners and our punters, shout out the Irish legend Daniel Whalen with a 65-yard boot.
Nice.
15-yard difference before the offenses even come onto the field. That was special teams masterclass. So, yeah, that's it for me. One of the best games I've seen from the Packers in a long, long time. This is actually the last time we had beat the Lions in a home opener was in 2021. And the last time we had just beat the Lions outright was 2023. So this was a long time coming.
It was a while. It was a while ago, but well done. I will say well done.
All righty, on to your Eagles.
So, I thought the Eagles versus Cowboys would be a very, very nice opening game, but I don't know how I can say this properly. It was a very ugly game from start to finish. It had a lot of action. People, you wanted action, you got the action. But how did it begin? It was great. We opened it up with Fly Eagles Fly, the banner reveal, the festivities, all of that. But then, opening kickoff, we get an injury. Ben Van Sumeren, unfortunately, out for the season with a torn patellar. First play didn't get affected, and this dude was busting his ass to to convert from like a UDFA linebacker into a fullback, and it sucks. Injury sucks. I wish him a speedy recovery. But then Spitgate happened.
Mm-hmm.
Freaking,
The weirdest start to a season.
I mean, and I'll say this, Jalen Carter, come on, man. I don't care if you're agitated by Dak Prescott, who apparently spit in your direction. I'm going to stick to it because I saw the evidence from there. Even though it wasn't directly at you or it was towards the ground, it was in that direction or whatnot. You don't retaliate by spitting back, especially when there's a fucking referee in front of you. And with that, he got ejected for the game and did not see a snap. However, he was only fined $60K and he was not suspended for week 2. So thank God for that. And because of this, the Eagles defense, what happened to them? They got completely rattled after that ejection. And you know what? Give credit to Brian Schottenheimer and the Cowboys offense for a very good game plan. And I think I don't know if you saw this a lot, but one of my observations I noticed, there's a lot of pre-snap, no huddle, hurry up offense. Like Dak Prescott said, like, okay, we're not going to allow this defense to pressure us. So what we're going to do, run the ball. And they did it pretty damn effective with Javonte Williams and in one case, Miles Sanders. And Dak Prescott able to escape from the pocket. And you know what? I'll give credit where credit's due. Cowboys offense looked really good. I mean, and because of the Jalen Carter being ejected, you saw more snaps from Gabe Hall and like backup guys like Gabe Hall, Mara Aljamo. Jordan Davis was there, but man, Jordan Davis slimmed down, and I did not expect Jordan Davis, the pass rusher, to get there. He almost hit home. He almost got to Dak Prescott, but you got to finish. That's why Jalen Carter was definitely necessary. The pass rush did not generate a sack. There was no pressure at all because the defense was because the Cowboys offense kept on lighting it up. They were running the ball. They were converting on the first and second downs. Not that much third down conversions from what I saw. I don't know if you saw any of that, but it's like Jace just took advantage of the mismatches and corrected them. CeeDee Lamb had himself a hell of a game. 7 receptions for 110 yards. We'll get to CeeDee Lamb in a bit because he was also my Masala player of the day for the Eagles. I'll talk to you why. Man, I mean, the pass defense was really bad. Adoree Jackson, trash, never should start in an NFL. Dude, he was 5 yards back. And even with that, he allowed 103 yards of 7 targets and a big passing interference. Not even Jacorian Bennett had himself a good game, but yet he was in pressure. He tried to pressure CeeDee Lamb and all that. And then Quinyon Mitchell, yeah, he didn't allow a touchdown, which is good, but 30 yards allowed out of a few targets, but that big passing interference against George Pickens, man, it set up one of the Dallas touchdowns, and Dak balled up. When under pressure, he was 9 for 12 with 188 yards of passing. But it's overall 21 for 34, 188 total yards of passing. CD was amazing in this route running, but when Fangio makes his and you know what, and I'll talk about this about the first quarter defense for the Eagles. They allowed the Cowboys 9 first downs, 2 for 2 on third down conversions, pound away with 117 yards of total offense and an average of 7.8 yards per play. You controlled the ball 9 out of the 15 minutes in the opening quarter. On the second drive, the Cowboys went 88 yards on 9 plays, 5 minutes and 59 seconds. And the big play was that Prescott to Lamb on a 3rd and 2 for 26 yards over fucking Adoree Jackson. And plus the Quinyon Mitchell passing interference, brother, just got to be aware. And of course, I could talk about the Reed Blankenship on that unnecessary roughness when it looked like a clothesline penalty. It's like, it was very bad. Eagles committed 110 penalty yards this game. But then again, the second half, Vic Fangio knows his adjustments. And we saw a lot more from Jahad Campbell and Zach Bond. And if I had two Eagle defensive players of the game, Zach Bond and the rookie Jahad Campbell. And I thought Andrew Makuba did okay in pass coverage, but it was in a very unfortunate situation. Like if Carter was there and we were playing in full strength, then we would have saw something else. But I mean, like I'll show you one big, and you know what? I thought this was one of my Masala game. I'll go early on this one. My Masala moment of the day, my Masala moment of the week, definitely had to be the back-to-back sequence from that Cowboys drive. When Miles Sanders breaks off for that 48, 49-yard run, it looked like a touchdown. But Zach Bond with the hustle play comes down. If he can't make the fumble, if he can't force a fumble, get the tackle, saves a touchdown, and then after that penalty and after some two penalties, the next play, Jahad Campbell and Byron Young combined on a Miles Sanders, force a fumble on Miles Sanders, and Quinyon Mitchell gets the forced fumble. I mean, Jahad Campbell had himself a day. Multiple tackles, one pass deflected, one forced fumble, and Quinyon Mitchell could have ran it for a touchdown, but Dak Prescott playing defense, that was very good. I'll say that. And then, but with that being said, Eagles offense for the first couple of plays until that abnormal lightning thing, like this game had it all: ejections, injuries, and a lightning delay. And I honestly think that lightning delay changed everything because no one could score. I think the lightning's like, all right, I'm gonna suck all your energy. You had a lot of fun. Now it's over. I think I literally saw that, and the funny part is that was enough time for me to go back home from Philly Bar and Lounge and watch the rest of the game. Like, I kid you not, 30 minutes from there. But on the offensive side, Jalen Hurts offensive player of the game. 19 for 23 passing, 152 yards. Only sacked one time, but when it mattered the most, what does Jalen Hurts do best? He can run, and he made plays with his legs. That first touchdown, opening touchdown, when he did the Michael Jordan shrug, when MJ watching, I loved it. That's good for the brand. I thought Kevin Patullo, offensive coordinator, had himself a good game. And what I was very impressed with Jalen Hurts is his recognition of what the defense is giving. You saw a lot of zone from Matt Eberflus and how they were bracketing AJ and Devontae. AJ Brown didn't have a target until the fourth quarter. Devontae Smith only had 3 targets for 16, 3 catches for 16.
That's a problem. That is a problem that the offensive coordinator has to work on because you can't limit.
I mean, not targeting them a lot. I get that, but what Jalen Hurts did, he said, okay, we see that you're bracketing off your 2 best. Guess what? I have other weapons. Saquon Barkley, okay game. Cowboys did a good job in stopping the run. They loaded the box, and apparently when the Eagles went 12-13 personnel, the run was stopped. So don't do that maybe next time. Stick with 11 personnel, but that could all change for the Kansas City game because I just got news that Dallas Goedert is out against Kansas City.
Ooh.
So we're going to be seeing a big game from Grant Calcaterra and or Kylan Granson, or maybe that's when Tank Bigsby comes into play. So I don't know. But I'll say that. But just to count on that, like it was an incredible comeback. I like his runs, and I mean Will Shipley getting some yardage before he had that broken ribs. There are 8 runs out of 10 plays for 56 yards. One of the runs was that third down rushing touchdown for Jalen Hurts with the MJ shrug. And he read what the defense gave. And, I mean, Dallas Goedert feasted. 7 receptions for 44 yards. And let me get to you on the offensive, on the second drive. 65 yards on 12 plays. 8-10 on that scoring drive. You picked it. You basically did what I said against the good teams. Death by 1,000 paper cuts. Controlling the line, run, attack what the defense is giving you. And I mean, the Cowboys almost had Hurts contained, but I think he just made it look too easy. And then the defense, after forcing that field goal, Jahad Dotson out of nowhere. I love that Jalen Hurts is relying on his other targets. That big 51-yard bomb to set up that Saquon Barkley touchdown on the third game, and then I thought that offense was clicking. But then after that delay, Leonard Dickerson getting hurt and out for the game. I mean, Cowboys defense, they went after him. Marshawn Nealon and Kenny Green. Oh, I guess the Kenny Green trade worked, right? Kenny Clark?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they at least got a sack, but I mean, like, Hurts won on the ball, but I thought he played a mistake-free game, but Hurts still scrambled. And I mean, AJ Brown, only one target. You got to try and target more, especially against single man coverage. Because if that's what they're giving you, you just go after AJ Brown. You got to feed him the ball thing. And I felt that the play calling was way too vanilla. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the game, like the Eagles were playing to like preserve the lead. Take the risks when you need it and keep on scoring. And
that's what I'm saying, man. This offensive coordinator is not doing a good job. I think
the funny thing is he said in his postgame that he went off script in the first half. I'm like, what was that?
Better.
Just keep on doing it, right?
Yeah.
But I have to talk to you about the end of the game, how the Eagles were able to kill this game. I mean, you look at that third and three at the Dallas 37 after CeeDee Lamb, 4 drops.
That's what won them the game. It wasn't. I felt like it was more Cowboys making mistakes than Eagles making anything positive, because this was too close of a game.
I called it to be. I think I had the score to be 27-20 for the Eagles, and it would be decided on a late thing because with the Eagles starters not on offense and defense not playing in the preseason for a little bit.
Yeah,
that's a lot of rust, and this is like that's a preseason game.
Still, bro, this.
Oh yeah, you just can't. You cannot do that. You just cannot do that, and that's why I have to call them out on that.
Eagles should have done to Dallas what Green Bay did to Detroit.
I agree 100%. I felt that they went too soft. They played to keep the lead. Fangio was the only one being aggressive at the end. Kevin Patullo, he's got to match that up. And because you're winning in spite of the OC. That's the same issue that I feel like I'm about to see I saw when we had that collapse. Brian Johnson going
23
vanilla. You may have all the best the best stars, but the play calling has to be better. And but I want to get back to it. 3rd and 3. This is what I really like from Hurts. He sees that the Cowboys are bringing some pressure. Guess what he says? Motions. Saquon Barkley goes out, empty set, and when that happens, you know what's happening.
He's gonna run the ball.
And when you saw that run, I literally thought he broke a man's ankle.
Mm-hmm.
I swear to God on that one.
He's a great running back, that's for sure. That's that 700-pound squat or whatever record that he has to his advantage.
I mean, with that, but like, I think I was surprised. The Eagles didn't go into tush push formation a lot, only like twice. But you know what? Credit to the Cowboys defense. One of their goals was to prevent a 3rd and short on the 4th and short when it mattered the most. But Jalen Hurts delivers when he needs to. He is a freaking winner. He did that when he was in Alabama, sometimes a bit in OU, and now he's doing it for the Eagles, and he has a ring to go with it. So I'm happy about the win, but got a lot of things to focus on. That's all I got.
All righty. Well, excellent analysis as always, Rakshak, bringing the fire to our podcast from the Eagles' perspective. Now let's move on.
Mera dost, bahut shukriya. This is not brought to you by Duolingo, by the way, folks.
Yeah, exactly. Let's move on to our 5-minute segment.
What about our Masala games of the week? Any updates on
Never
that?
mind. Let's work on our Masala games of the week. I'm just going to redo all this. And now we're going to move on to our Masala games of the week. First game that we had was, oh my God, the Chiefs versus Chargers. What a game. Chargers.
I have to say this. this is a Masala Game of the Year nominee. Let's get the list going on that.
I kind
It's a
of
nominee.
agree, but yeah, I think there are better games. The Sunday Night Football game was definitely up there. Between the Bills and the Ravens, this one was just shock. The Chargers completely manhandled the Chiefs, and this is exactly what is unexpected from the Chiefs in terms of their first game back. You would think that they would be a lot more prepared, but it's the same offensive woes that we've seen for the past couple of years for the Chiefs. Without having a number one wide receiver, they haven't been able to fill out the other wide receiver roles, relying almost solely on Travis Kelce's availability and ability to get open in zone situations and actually move the football down the field. Like, it's either that or maybe a couple of hole shots or deep shots to either Xavier Worthy or Rashee Rice. When Rashee Rice was on the field, at least they had a semblance of a complete pass offense. Here, it's terrible. I mean, you look at this complete switch in identity for the Chiefs offense. From 2018 to 2022, aka the years that they had Patrick Mahomes in his prime with Travis Kelce, with Tyreek Hill. Not that Patrick Mahomes is not in his prime anymore. He still very much is, and we still see that all the time. It's just that the identity before was, let's generate explosive plays and score points on the field, because on average, or actually in total, when passing to receivers 20 plus yards down the field, so aka that's a very deep throw, that's an explosive play, pass play, the Chiefs were number one, led the entire NFL from the years of 2018 to 2020. They had 15.3 average yards, 51 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and 117.1 passer rating. When throwing it deep, from 2018 to 2022, in the past 2 years, 9.8 yards average. Not yards, sorry, attempts. 9.8 attempts, 5 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and 44.8 passer rating. That makes Mahomes 33rd of 34 QBs when throwing it deep.
God.
Which means probably Joe Flacco has had more success. Aaron Rodgers has had more success. Justin Fields has had more success throwing
Could
it
I say
deep.
Jalen Hurts may have a little more success than Mahomes in that case? I don't know.
Jalen Hurts obviously would. He has A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. We're not even comparing here.
Hey, hell,
Like
you know what? Even Jordan Love could have more success than Mahomes if this track goes. It's just shocking what you're telling me right now. I'm just shocked.
Mm-hmm. So in this scenario, it's like a complete shift in identity. They were a very explosive team in terms of both pass plays and run plays before. Now they're more of time of possession, control the football, make sure that you limit your turnovers. That's why you don't really see that many attempts throwing it down the field. And that has caused them a severe, lack of ability to win games by passing, right? They're not in the top echelon in terms of passing offenses now. I mean, teams like obviously the Bills and the Ravens and the Bengals have overtaken them. You now see the Chargers, who have overtaken them in passing yards and passing it deep down the field as well. You see a couple of other AFC teams who are soon to overtake them, if not already. Maybe you have the Jacksonville Jaguars this year overtake them in terms of deep passing. You definitely have a couple of NFC teams as well. Maybe the Chiefs are like middle of the pack in terms of passing it deep, which is really bad because you can't consistently. The game has moved away from the time where you could control the clock and the offense wouldn't have to manufacture so many explosive plays to become successful. I think it is very much an explosive play based league now. And you see a lot of successful offenses get better and better at it across a season and throughout across multiple seasons. So the fact that the Chiefs have regressed, something definitely has to change. Maybe they need a maybe they need a number one receiver. And Rashee Rice seemed like that guy. For the weeks that he was on the field, he seemed like that guy. Obviously, he has been suspended due to his off the field issues, shall we say. But it's not like they haven't invested. Xavier Worthy, they have invested, but he is now out with a shoulder injury for, I believe, a couple weeks. So they're going to be missing him. Now they have Hollywood Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster as your top receivers. I mean, it's just not a successful recipe, So that is a big concern for the Chiefs moving forward. How long can they rely on their defense? Because this game was terrible. It was completely unlike a Chiefs defense from what we've seen in a long time. They allowed 300 passing yards to the Chargers. They allowed Justin Herbert to have so many rushing attempts, especially that last end of the game rushing attempt on third down where they have to pick up 13 yards. Jim Harbaugh trusted Justin Herbert to go get them the first down. And what did he do? He just wheeled his ass out there and ran. He accumulated those yards, that first down himself, and ended the game. I mean, like, the Chiefs defensive players weren't even in the vicinity.
I mean, like, I think they were all, because 3rd and 14, what's the one offensive play that you could think of? They're going to throw the ball. But they went with the assumption they forgot Herbert. It's a good runner.
But you're right. But this is where disciplined coaching has to come to play, right? You realize that it is 3rd and 14. Yes, they're going to probably throw it deep. So what do? You probably put umbrella coverage. You have 2 high safeties. You play your corners at the sticks, at the first down marker, shading the inside of the sideline so that you can prevent the receivers from going out of bounds and keeping them in bounds and let the clock run. Because that's what you need to do. You needed to prevent them from getting that first down. Then you have a 4-man rush, and you have a couple of linebackers moving in the middle of the field, and you call quarters coverage. You call probably cover 2. You do something where you have all your defensive players within the 14 to 17 yard marker area so that you can prevent that first down from happening. But the Red Sea parted and he had a wide open lane to get the first down. It just reeks of undisciplined players, teams. It reeks of an undisciplined team, which is unlike the Chiefs.
It's very uncharacteristic. And we saw Drew Tranquil and Chris Jones fighting on the sidelines near the end of the game. I mean, that takes the cake.
Leader has to step up.
Yep.
So yeah, this was very surprising. And if this trend continues, where the defense cannot stop opposing offenses, this is the Chargers offense. Last year, they weren't the most successful. They were like roughly top 12-ish overall. If they can't stop the Chargers, like this week versus the Eagles, it's going to be a very, very interesting matchup to see at least if they can rectify some of the defensive lapses, because we know that the offense, when it comes in clutch situations, they can make it we'll see, as the season progresses, especially if their run game can continue to improve. But man, this and Jawan Taylor continuously drawing those false start penalties.
There are three things in life we have to know: death, taxes, and Jawan Taylor false starting.
Exactly. It's gonna be very, very depressing for Chiefs fans if they can't.
Oh man, it's gonna be if they don't get that fixed. And I know we'll do that when we're previewing the Chiefs, but if they don't get that the flag situation fixed up, Nolan Smith and Jalen Hunt and hell, some cases Josh Uche and Zadarius Smith, they're going to eat. And I fear what's going to happen in the middle of the field when Jalen Carter is going to come in and he's like angry he didn't play. I just hope he doesn't spit on the guy again.
Exactly. So yeah, that was it. Chargers win 27-21. It was a very shocking game in Sao Paulo. Again, very good atmosphere for that game. But yeah, maybe it's just week 1 jitters and we'll see a better coached team come week 2 facing the Eagles. But yeah, that's it from my side. What about your Masala game?
So, you remember I said like every time I pick a Masala game of the week that I think is going to be good, but God, it sucks. It's back to haunt me again. I don't get it, man. Do I need to consult a voodoo doctor, a witch doctor, or what?
Maybe, man. Maybe.
I mean, yeah, I picked Texans versus Rams. How do I describe it? It was
battle of defenses.
It was defensive ball. I mean, it was a very good defensive battle. A lot of heavy inside zone and dual run schemes with some play action. And I mean, I was very shocked. I mean, some guy I thought like from this group called Houston Stressants, they do a really good job on breaking down the entire field for the entire game. They told us something. I'm kind of surprised by this. McMay leaned a lot heavier with Stafford under center, even more than he did in 2024. And that alignment marred their play action game with their runs, and the Houston safeties and linebackers, they were like saying, oh, the fakes, everyone was biting it. The Rams aligned under center and 61.4% of the plays against the Texans. The running game struggled out of play action, 3.3 yards per play, due to Texas loading the box at the highest rate. And in play action, passing game, and guess what? Stafford was 9 for 10 in passing in play action passes for 108 yards and that lone touchdown. And can we talk about? I honestly think Department of Health or whichever state needs to test Puka Nacua because he is not a human being. Coming back,
he is an alien.
I think he's a cyborg. I think he's a cyborg.
What, Elon Musk experiment?
Or I think don't let Alex Jones hear about this because he'll say something.
Let's not go there.
Let's cross that one. It's like, I mean, I honestly think we should name this species Homono Nakua Pukas, I think. Puka Nacua is a different human being because I mean, and guess what? I did notice this, but like, if you look at next gen stats, when he was in the like Puka Nacua, 10 for 11, 130 yards against the Texans, but when he's aligned in the slot, he was in the slot for a career high 44% of his snaps. 7 out of 14 slot runs, 6 receptions for 78 yards. How ridiculous is that? And you guess who we have to thank for that? Devontae Adams. Him taking that outside position and moving Puka in the slot corner role, in the slot position. Oh my God, that was brilliant. And on the other hand, CJ Stroud. Oof, that was a rough game. That offensive line is still weak, and I mean, it was to the point like CJ Stroud, 19 for 27, 188 yards, 1 interception, 3 sacks for 37 yards. I felt like he held, like, I don't know if you were watching Red Zone or whatnot, he held on to the ball too long. And he was trying to make plays out of it. But here's the thing. He was pressured on 41.2% of his dropbacks via next gen, 9 for 10 passes for 102 yards when pressured, which recorded at plus 29.7 CPOE, highest of Stroud's career.
Damn.
And I mean, the run game wasn't there at all. Like Nick Chubb, 13 carries for 60 yards. I mean, I thought I could have saw a little bit better, but yeah, Stafford got sacked 3 times. But when he delivered the most, man, like the Texans, they did their best in stopping out the run. Kyron Williams, 80 for 66 yards, but 18 for 66. But you got to realize the Rams are not a good running team. They pass the ball better than they run. Like it's kind of thing. And then, of course, the penalties. Texans had drives stalled by penalties, 11 in total for the entire day. And I don't want to get too long, but the game changer of the moment, they're driving. The Texans are driving in, but Nate Landman, never heard of the guy. Peanut drills. You practice a peanut drill punch. Knocks the ball out of Darren Agumbawale's hands and his game and his set. And I think honestly, even with just Nico Collins, T. Higgins, I didn't even see him do that much. He was pretty much non-existent. And I mean, and with Ed Ingram being out for the game, you had to reshuffle their entire offensive line. It was just too much. And I mean,
yeah,
I don't want to talk about it more because it's just like insane. And I think like apparently the Rams played a lot of Tampa too, and they disguised it cover 2. So hell of a job. I think it was good.
All righty. Well, that's going to be it for our Masala games of the week. And now we're going to be moving on to the greatest segment of our podcast, the Punch Minute segment.
Punch.
Let's get started, shall we?
Go.
Yes, sir. AFC, Bengals versus Browns. The Bengals pull off a squeaker of a win, 17-16, but you gotta fire the kicker into the sun, which the Browns did. Mr. Schmidt, he single-handedly cost the Browns the game. Legit one of the safest jobs, and all you gotta do is kick it through the uprights. It wasn't even a difficult one that he missed. He missed a 36-yarder chip shot field goal. That guy needs to be burned, and he did. But still, man, the Bengals still shouldn't claim this win because
no, they're still the Bungles. They're the Bungles officially.
You're right. 26 yards for Chase and only 113 passing yards for Joe Burrow. Unacceptable. Next game. Oh my God. Dolphins versus Colts. Oh my God. The Colts demolished the Dolphins. You have to, I think we need to call PETA because this was a mass extinction of all dolphins everywhere. It was 33-8. You have to fire McDaniels and ship him off to North Korea in a stupid missile. Tua showed up as turned the ball over again.
Oh, Chunga returned.
Oh, yeah. Tua Chunga. It's game over for Miami this season. Players were already
you lost
checking
to
out.
Daniel fucking Jones.
Exactly. When Danny Dimes is looking like a top 10 QB against your defense, it's time to close up shop.
Anthony Richardson.
Does he have a job anymore in the NFL?
I don't know.
Do we see him in a Burger King in Indianapolis next year? Who knows? All right, next up, Vegas Raiders versus those Patriots. Those Patriots lost 20-13 to the Vegas Raiders.
Hutchinson and Burns crying in the corner.
Oh, yeah. Josh McDaniels, man. Woof. Drake May did not look like the guy we saw in the last 4 games of the season. And all those Drake May haters have been, clamoring and they've been celebrating because, my God, this was not a good performance. And while Geno did have a pick, he was manageable, which is exactly what the Raiders need. Now, the big question for the future for the Raiders is the health of Brock Bowers. So far, it is week to week. He is their number 1 tight end and probably their number 1 receiver as well. So we'll see how that goes. Until then, they have Michael Mayer. All righty. Jets versus Steelers.
Oh my! Tonight on Where's My Liquor in a la Urinating Tree or False Hope? High
False
end talent,
hope, man.
What did the high end talent?
Got the Super Bowl.
Steelers got Super Bowl.
Steelers got to Super Bowl. Where's the yellow flag when you need it, man? Steelers win 34-32. Who would have thought that this was a battle of quarterbacking perfection? Aaron Rodgers, Justin Fields, battle of the forgotten legends. And man, even though I'm making jokes, Aaron Rodgers looked like prime Rodgers.
He was
man.
incredible.
So beautiful to watch. It just reminded me so much of like his 2013 to 2017 phase where he was just like completely zipping the ball everywhere. And now he's zipping the ball everywhere with deadly precision. So it's exactly like he was previously.
And that DJ catch. Holy shit.
Unbelievable. It's the bullshit, man. The bullshit reigns supreme for the Steelers, as Urinating Tree said in his sports ball episode. Now it's going to be very interesting to see if this goes further into the season. Maybe there's some black magic, devil magic that is done to make the Steelers get into the playoffs and Aaron Rodgers still looks like Aaron Rodgers. We'll see. Next and final AFC game, Titans versus the Denver Broncos. Denver wins 20-12. This was a terrible game to watch. Mo Picks
took over.
Mo Picks took over. 2 interceptions, a fumble, and another turnover, and it was yikes. It was so bad. The only thing that is a reprieve for the Denver Broncos is that defense is phenomenal. That defense looks like it's going to be one of the best, if not the best defenses in the league. And finally, for Titans, they had more sack yardage than offensive yards.
It was ugly.
138 sack yardage, 120 or so total yards of offense.
So can we say welcome to the league, Cam Ward?
He didn't look bad. He didn't look bad.
Welcome to the NFL.
Yeah.
But
it for me.
But another thing I want to also talk about really quickly as part of our Punch Minutes. The Bills versus Ravens. Holy shit. The Ravens! What are you doing?
Man. It's the Ravens continue to raven it up. That is the only explanation. They had a 15-point lead with 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. This is the greatest game this year so far. Probably will be the greatest game. We don't have many other options. This might be the greatest game that we've ever seen this year.
But say the famous quote.
What can go wrong will go wrong. The Ravens are an accident waiting to happen.
And 3 words I have to say. You blew it! Yeah. How the hell does this happen? Okay, I have to go into a ruckshuck rant on this one.
Go ahead, bro. The floor is yours.
I'm trying to break my head open. First of all, that Bills defense was sorry as hell until Josh Allen said, fuck this shit. I cannot lose in front of my wife, Haley. So he literally had to carry this team on his back. And Keon Coleman, man, hell of a game. Now I know why they picked him over Worthy, but still, did not like that draft pick.
Exactly.
But Ravens. My God. Derrick Henry was running over. Lamar Jackson had his legs, and Zay Flowers. I mean,
Unbelievable.
But the defense, after that Kyle Hamilton going out and all that, I mean, I'm sorry, Keon Coleman burned Jair Alexander multiple times in the game. And what I liked about the Bills' offense under Joe Brady, when they needed to go, they went fast tempo. Allen, I mean, I don't need the stats because we fucking saw this game, and Allen showed why he's a better MVP than Lamar Jackson for the time being. I mean, Lamar Jackson, he's a regular season guy, but I'll say this: Lamar Jackson is a great he's a good QB, but he's a great QB. But the ability to finish games when it matters the most.
But this wasn't his fault.
I know it wasn't
Derrick Henry and John Harbaugh.
But I also felt like the offensive play calling by Todd Monken could have been slightly better.
That's what I'm saying. It is not Lamar Jackson's fault. He did everything he possibly could.
And I'll say this: I cannot fault Jackson on this one. It's like because then again, the unfortunate thing about the NFL, it's a team game, and if 3/4 of your team is not playing properly, most likely you will lose this game, barring some bullshit miracle. And I mean, it was just rough. It was rough to see for the Ravens. I don't know how the hell they're gonna get back into it, because right now, because where things stand right now, Bills are favorites. I know it's like way early, but they are riding a big time high. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
And now, let's get to the AFC. So, Bucks versus Falcons. 23-20, Bucks win. And I mean, it was a fun South battle, fun NFC South battle. Michael Penix was good in this game. But Baker Mayfield slightly got back better, but I think I have to say this. Offensive Rookie of the Year candidate, Emeka Egbuka. Holy shit. He is a problem. And the Falcons, again, what the hell is a fucking field goal kick? Youngway too. My guy. What happened?
Exactly.
And then Cardinals versus Saints, 20-13. Kellen Moore's debut, you go with Spencer Rattler. I mean, like, you had Alvin Kamara and Azeez Al-Shaair and all that. I mean,
Spencer Rattler did look fine.
He was good, but inconsistencies on offense for both teams. I mean, there's like, oh, you got high, then low. It's like you could take 5 steps forward, 10 steps back. Literally what I saw. Marvin Harrison Jr., he's special. He's him. And Saints and Rattlers, again, shooting themselves in the foot. Penalties and missed kicks. What's new?
Exactly.
Giants versus Commanders, 21-6. What the hell was that? Probably for Brian Dable. I think this is probably it for Brian Dable and company, man. Commies just dominated. I say just put in Jackson Dart and play him. And hell, put Jameis Winston. Russell Wilson is not that guy. What's up, guys? Russell Wilson, you right here. I'm sorry that we couldn't get the Giants to win, man. But remember, Giants country. Yay. Some bullshit.
Exactly.
I mean,
I'm
sorry. It was bad. And what's even more worse, Jags versus Panthers. Again, ugly game. I don't even, it was like 23-10 or something like that, or 26-10. I don't know what the score is, but the Panthers only had like 1 touchdown, and it was just too much. Jags defense, they curb stomped them. Like it was, and the Panthers defense could not stop the run to save themselves and all that. It was just bad. Now, 49ers versus Seahawks, or the Sea Chickens.
Oh my God.
17-13. You had injuries. You had what the fuck is an offense on both teams.
Yep.
And Niners, they hold on to win it thanks to Nick Bosa forcing a fumble and recovering it from Sam Darnold. Weirdest sequence ever. I mean, like everyone's saying, like, oh, how's the Seahawks offense going to look without Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, JSN is not your only answer. I mean, we have a lot to say about it, but that'll be for later. Vikings versus Bears 27-24. I'll say not a bad game, JJ. Not a bad game. But Bears, you bared the game away. Caleb Williams, sit your scrawny ass down, get back to the playbook, and figure out how to fucking win, you dumbass.
Exactly.
And the Bears are already in full collapse. It's just they're like
It's so
crying.
funny to watch, man. They're literally getting booed out of the stadium in the first game. Oh my god, this is so fun to watch if you're a non-Chicago Bears fan. That's for sure. That is for sure. Alrighty. Well, that is going to be it for our Punch Minute segment. Let us now move on to our Masala play of the week. What play do you have in mind, Rakshak?
I could immediately say the Zach Bond. My candidate was the Zach. One of my plays I really liked was Zach Bond with that hustle play to stop Miles Sanders from giving the Cowboys the lead, and then back to back the Jahad Campbell forced fumble with Quinyon Mitchell recovering it, and Dak Prescott making a tackle. Dak Prescott playing defense. That could have been it, but I thought one part that just blew my mind was I think it had to be that DK Metcalf catch. It's a third down or fourth down play. Aaron Rodgers tries DK Metcalf against Sauce Gardner. Those two guys are going off. So Metcalf misses it. Jonnu Smith is there. He misses that two off in the air, and somehow it lands on Metcalf's head. How the hell does this fucking happen?
Exactly.
What's
unbelievable.
Yours?
All right. It has to be from the Packers and the
Lions
game.
That touchdown catch.
That touchdown catch that was in garbage time, but still nonetheless. I mean, it is unbelievable.
Barely out. Look at
it
this.
It is a one-handed outside catch.
Let's zoom in. Let's zoom in on this one.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay, so
you see, we don't really see the entire play, but we just need to see the catch.
Okay, so
one-handed.
1, 2,
and the heel of the other foot tapped inbounds. He maintained possession through the ground. It was a complete catch.
That was a great
unbelievable.
Catch.
One of the greatest catches you'll see for a first touchdown catch in his career. He's a rookie.
That's insane. Hell of a job by the kid, man. Good luck.
Exactly.
Good job.
Alrighty. Well, that is going to wrap up week 1 recap. Explosive week 1. And now we're going to move on to the week 2 preview.
And for all of our listeners, if you guys have just noticed, we have a guest coming on to the show, my good friend from the NBA journey as well, Karan Iyer, fellow Eagles fan from Philadelphia.
Go Birds.
What's up, Karan? Introduce yourself to the entire world.
Sure, yeah. No, thank you so much for having me, guys. My name's Karan. I grew up in the Philly area, in the burbs, close to Villanova, Haverford area, if anyone listening knows where that is.
Oh, shit, no way.
Yeah.
I'm not from Philly, but I'm originally from Dallas. I'm the only Eagles fan in my entire family.
Wow, that takes a lot. I gotta learn more about that, like how that happens.
It's a long story for later, but but it's great to have a true Philly guy here.
Yes, sir.
No, correction. Super Bowl. A fan of the 2-time Super Bowl champ.
Yep. You know, I'm wearing. You can't see it, but it's a Foles jersey. So it was one of those things where even my brother had it back in like 2012, 2013. We thought he was the future, right? Then Chip Kelly blows it up. You don't really throw old things out. And next thing you know, you're like, oh, wait, I got something in the closet. It still fits. So, yeah.
We can reminisce all day about that, man.
It's been a crazy run, dude. I think, like, after the first one, I was like, I can't ask for much more than this. And then when this run was happening last year, I was like, there's no, like, you know, the Super Bowl. I was like,
yeah,
I can't believe it. I had no reaction. I wasn't like, I mean, I was stoked at the same time. I was like waiting for the other shoe to drop, and then, you know, once the dagger happened, it was over.
Oh, that was a beautiful. And the funny thing is, this was like 2 days before my birthday.
Wow.
The Eagles winning the Super Bowl was the best birthday present, and also just a shout out, he had that inner excellence.
Oh, dude, I have it too. No
Let's
way.
go!
That's crazy. Yes.
Oh no,
sir.
there's one thing you'll always understand: Eagles fans are everywhere.
Dude,
understand that shit.
I was walking. It was Thursday. It was last Thursday. Walking with newly minted Saquon Super Bowl jersey, Kelly Green, and everything. I ordered it in like January. It didn't come till May. I wasn't stressing. And then like 15-minute walk to the bar, I got like multiple go Birds, go Birds. It's like, you know, it's like saying good morning, how's the weather out there?
Yeah, exactly. It's a way of it's a Philly thing. That's all I can say.
It is.
Anyway, welcome to the NFL Masala podcast. It is always great to have a fellow Eagles fan here.
Thank you. So yeah, let's get into it, man. Like it's hard to complain. I know last week wasn't the best showing, but hey, 1-0, you beat the Cowboys, and I feel like the delay kind of threw everything off. But I'm not stressing, man. We're the defending champs. We play a really weak Chiefs team. I think when they're dealing with a bunch of injuries, suspensions, I kind of wish they were at full strength. But listen, if we send them to 0-2, I think it's their first. If they lose, right? That is any given.
It'll be the first time that they go like 0-3 in like the last.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just wild.
Yeah,
I like this guy.
See what I mean? Perfect addition to the podcast. So as Karan was saying, we are now going to be previewing week 2, starting with them Eagles. They will be facing the Kansas City Chiefs in a Super Bowl rematch. So I'll leave the floor to you two gentlemen. Take it away.
I mean, I'll let you start first on this one.
You know, I feel good about it. You know, one thing when I was looking up, you know, just what the team is, how the Birds are looking. We get 10 days of rest. I feel like that's really important, right? Mm-hmm. We kind of get the kinks worked out early on. And you know how the Philly media is. Someone asked AJ, like, are you happy or something? Like, and then I don't know exactly what he said, but he was like, man, there's nothing to worry about. Like, I'm gonna get my touches, I'm gonna get my touchdowns, but you know, whatever it takes to get the team to a dub, right? That's all that matters, right? I don't care if you have like 150 yards. I don't care if you have one catch for 8 yards, man. That's all it takes. He's yes, right? Exactly.
It's all about the dubs, yeah. As a great man, Jameis Winston said.
The fantasy football in me has been crying, screaming out loud right now because AJ Brown did have that one catch performance, and I'm like, why are you restricting him to just one catch?
Because the Cowboys played zone, and I mean, like, just to back off on that, it's like I also think like this will be a big game for AJ Brown because. If you look at what the Chiefs did against the Chargers, like that defense looked sus. I mean, I think like one thing we can expect from Steve Spagnuolo, he's going to bracket around and try and stop the run. And I'm hearing mixed reports here and there that Dallas Goedert may not be playing in week 2, which means we could be seeing more Grant Calcaterra and Kyle Granson. However, when I saw the Eagles run like heavy personnel, like basically 12 or 13 personnel, the Cowboys stopped the run every single time. And it was because with Landon Dickerson being hurt, and yet Brett fucking Tuck on the offensive line who couldn't do jack shit. They could stop the run. So I imagine this will be a more pass happy game, and And I honestly think this could be the game in which AJ Brown and Devontae Smith take off. And another thing we could also see, and I think this is a good one. 11 personnel, stick to that. And I think we may be seeing a little bit more targets with Grant Katera, or hear me out, John Mechie and Darius Cooper. Let's see what those two boys are made out of. I mean, we did bring them in to practice. We did bring them in over. So let's make that trade. And we also have to report some Damakadar news. What happened over the week? Howie Roseman never stops. What did he do? He made two big trades after the Cowboys game. No, the first one he did, we picked up a veteran defensive end, Zadarius Smith. I think that was a great signing. You bring a veteran player who can act as a rotational, doesn't need to do that much. I just hope he doesn't be like a Robert fucking Quinn, because he did shit. Fuck that guy anyway. And the other one I thought was very interesting was the Tank Bigsby trade. He gave up a 2026 fifth and a sixth to get Bigsby from the Jags. What are your thoughts on this, Kyle?
I was confused by it too, because I mean, we let Gainwell go. I thought it was a sign for, things were going well for Shipley. It's interesting because I thought the team, someone in the organization came out and said it's not related to an injury, and then today, I don't know if you guys saw in the injury report, he's dealing with fractured ribs. So pretty serious injury. I think Bigsby proved himself last year as like a pretty capable, wouldn't say he's going to be like the 1B guy here in Philly, obviously behind Saquon, but he's a really nice change of pace guy. He has experience with returning too. So, I think that's why Roseman got him in the long run. And he was a rookie last year, right? So he's on a rookie deal too. It's yeah. So it's one of those things, and it's not like he's expiring. So we have, I want to say at least 2 more years. I think it's worth it. I think it's a low risk, high reward move. Again, we're at the time of our, I guess, the table where we got to start considering paying some big names. Like the Carter extension is coming, right? Which is probably something we're going to get into too, and how the Eagles kind of deal with that.
I gave my Ruckchuck rant on the Jalen Carter spit gate.
Yeah, that was man. I thought he's I'm in a group chat with some Bears fans, right? A lot of my friends are from Chicago, and for if you guys don't know, Chicago was 8, Philly was 9 in that draft, in the Carter draft. The Carter was supposed to go 1 in before the whole speeding incident and all that. So all my Bears fans were like, "This is now." Obviously, they got to be sarcastic because this is why we passed on him, character concerns. But no, it's for real. I think I trust the organization to handle it inside behind closed doors, but not a great look. He's a leader. He's getting a max extension. He's got to act like it. I think he knows what he's doing. But yeah. Anyways, back to Bigsby, back to the offense. How we're looking. I like the move. Again, it's not a bad thing to have a weapon. Someone who proved himself last year. Clearly an NFL caliber player.
Awesome. And I think one major part I would see on the Chiefs defense to keep an eye out for is Chris Jones. Defensive tackle, especially with Landon Dickerson's health, Jones is going to be sniffing for blood. He is going to go. I think Spags will probably bring in the pressures because it'd probably bring 4-man, 5-man front pressures, bring that in. And is it okay? Beat us with your arm. And unfortunately, Brett Toth he's not good. And I think it's going to have to be a quick dink and dunk passing game. If you have to go with the death by 1,000 paper cuts route, that's fine. But Hurts, what he did great against the Cowboys, needs to do that. Take what the defense is giving you. Attack from there. And with that, let's switch it over to the Eagles defense. What should they be worried about? I know Rashee Rice is out. And Xavier Worthy, there's reports that he will be out for this game. That he's potentially going to be out. So you have to deal with Taquan Thornton and Corvette, Juju Smith-Schuster, along with Pacheco and Kelsey. How would you attack if you were the true Brown Vic Fangio? What would you do?
You know, I would look out for a lot of mesh routes, a lot of crossing routes, a lot of short distance plays. I mean, we're assuming Worthy's gone. Even with the bum shoulder, I think he's gonna be, if he plays, it's gonna be more in a decoy role. So I think you have to watch out for a lot of the crossing routes and really put I imagine they're gonna use
Oh,
Gelsey.
I
Yeah,
forgot.
go.
Hollywood Brown. He's in there too.
Oh, that's right. The pickup of the week for some fantasy leagues. Yeah, he had 16 targets. I mean, like he and I think he earned it too. And I think they're gonna try and move him around a lot throughout the field. I don't know if Mitchell's gonna shadow anyone in particular. I mean, I don't think he's big enough to cover Kelsey one-on-one, but again, I think it's gonna be kind of like how they're gonna bracket Brown. I would say similarly, just kind of bracket, kind of throw everything at Kelsey and really force Mahomes to like act quick. I think pressure the O line a little bit too, and then like kind of again, I think pressure is the name of the game here, just like how they did for the Super Bowl, right? Like I think why switch it up? Why do anything differently?
Yeah. I think that's definitely. I think that's the right approach. I mean, Zadarius Smith, you may be seeing a little bit more snaps on this one, but I would still keep him on a snap count because he's still trying to get used to the Fangio scheme. And Carter, just don't fucking spit. That's all I ask.
Yeah.
And I think this is where the Eagles have to play disciplined football. You cannot be You cannot force penalty. You cannot be penalized. And again, like adding to that, I would also think I think this is where I say you keep Zach Bond as your QB spy linebacker. You keep him play in that middle zone area because he's really good in coverage. Or hell, you could bring Jahad Campbell in and maybe we see snaps from Jeremiah Trotter Jr. And I would say this. CB2 is the biggest concern. And what Vic Fangio said in his press conference of putting Adoree Jackson for continuing in, I don't want that. I want to see Jacorian Bennett or Keely Ringo. If not, you get someone like a Mike Hilton or Stephon Gilmore. I mean, it was a mistake to let Isaiah Rodgers go.
It really was. I mean, it was, how much did he sign for? It was like 2 years, 11.
2 year, $11.5 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
I should have been on that.
And the problem is we're paying for it now. And again, I'm just imagining that, they probably prioritized Bond last off season. And then again with the Carter extension, like I don't even know how much he's going to command. I haven't heard any rumors about like what that contract's going to look like. Parsons got paid a bag, so you would imagine it's going to be something where it's like, you really have to make tough decisions on good players.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that CB2 spot he's burnt. He's just burnt toast. It reminds me of the Eagles of the past, pre-Super Bowl, where it was like Bradley Fletcher, Asamoah as a
oh my God, fucking Nnamdi
PTSD.
Asamoah. When we had like this is when we had like proper. This was like during the days when we had proper corners like Lito Shepherd, Sheldon Brown.
Yeah.
Those I watched the Eagles football during that days, and we had a hard hitting safety, Brian fucking motherfucking Dawkins, one of the greatest Eagles of all time, in my point of view. And I think, and then we had like Kerry Williams, Brandon Boykin, who was decent at best. Nate Allen. It was. We were scraping at that time, and then I mean, there has to be a better way. You cannot put. I mean, if you wanted Jackson to like because he's old and whatnot, put him in. I want to see some press man. Much as I like zone cut, as much as like okay, let's stick to your cover 2, cover 3, and all that. Bullshit. Go press man. I want to see some physicality on this shit. Hell, Cooper DeJean get another pick 6, man.
Right. Yeah. No, I think the other thing, I mean, we know Andy Reid pretty well, and I think in the regular season up until the last Super Bowl, I'll admit I think he had our number, but I think what I saw, I mean, I think I had Pacheco in one of my leagues, so I was frustrated as a fantasy owner too. He abandons the run when he feels pressured, and I think you want to take them away. I think you want to make them a one-dimensional offense, and that starts with pressuring them up front, blitzing them, and I think once you force Mahomes, once you kind of figure out Mahomes and take away any like RPOs that he might try to do, you figure out what kind of offense there are. And again, I I'm very, very confident that they're going to funnel everything through Kelsey, whatever it takes, and then probably hunt for any short yardage gains. But I mean, they know what to expect. I think it's really just bringing the pressure up front and being physical at the line of scrimmage.
And I mean, you bring in excellent points. This is why I already love this guy. And I will say this, just to add on to that, thanks to the wonders of Jimmy Kempski of the Philly Voice. I do have, like, he always presents like there is a possible weakness, or as I like to say, quote Gail Saunders from 4th and John, whom I want to give a special shout out to always. I shout out to the 4th and John crew, inspired me to do NFL Masala and whatnot. And I just closed my screen. What the hell? Okay. Let's try this again. So take two. So this is what their current Chiefs offensive line. Josh Simmons is a rookie coming from the torn patella tendon, but the biggest one is Kingsley Suamatia. He had let's see. He started week 1, but he initially played left tackle before he was benched. And this could be a game in which Mara Ojamo can get some sacks. And I would also say, I think, like, but the way that Jordan Davis played, maybe you put Carter in a rotational one, just like disguise him on a big third down. If you're initially able to stop the run and get pressure to Mahomes initially, hell, maybe Carter gets like limited snaps and he's able to still disrupt it in a way.
Yeah.
Maybe you stunt Carter inside with Suamatia and you put Jordan Davis over the center.
Or, I mean, hell, Josh Uche had himself a good game. Maybe you put him inside, or hell, get Jahad Campbell's a free blitzer in one thing. Because that's what he did very well when he was in Alabama. I mean, I would not be surprised. I would be very surprised if the Eagles pull something like you put you go 3 linebackers, Zach Bond, Jahad Campbell, hear me out, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. You put Trotter Jr. in coverage, or you could bring Trotter Jr. as a blitzer while you have Jahad Campbell playing coverage. If you watch the game against the Cowboys, Campbell was involved in a pass deflection. He was like the best rookie playing in that game.
Mm-hmm.
And why not? And Cooper DeJean, stick him in nickel coverage. That is all I ask for him.
Yeah. I think one thing for the Eagles to also watch out for is any slow developing screenplays too. We just, I mean, it's what you were saying earlier. We just got to be disciplined. It's just got to be like recognizing when players are starting to pull back or when they start to, release. And not biting on those, because that would be a shame. And Mahomes is very, very good at that, developing something like almost intending towards Kelsey, but then doing like a little shovel pass up front too. So it's recognizing when obvious pass plays are happening, we have the right personnel, but even when it's a little bit of an ambiguous situation, just coaching our guys, because Davis, I feel like, is more of a little bit of he's better equipped for run plays and as a run stopper too, right? So just teaching him, like, be prepared to stay back. And if you see someone breaking, like, keep up with them.
I agree with you on this one. What's your score prediction on this one?
Man, this is a good one. I think the Eagles are going to be pass heavy to make a point, saying that, if we want to turn it up, we can. Otherwise, we have the best running back in the league. We're not really pressured to to make Hurts air it out, and we don't need to. I'm gonna say something like 30-17, like a very, very comfortable lead throughout. Yep.
Whoa.
And I think 17 is being a little generous, but it's Mahomes. I don't think you can discount him.
Yeah. And I mean, and like initially I have this as an Eagles loss because it could go because like one game they'll go up and then another game they'll go down. I think this could be a point in which it'll all factor on on what Patrick Mahomes does. And don't get me wrong, Mahomes is a damn good QB because I've said this before multiple times. I've seen him play live when I was in Texas Tech University, watching like QBs like Seth Dagey, a walk-on Baker Mayfield. By the way, fuck him for leaving Texas Tech and going to OU. And then Davis Webb, who's now the quarterbacks coach in He's one of the Sean Payton's assistants, and Pat Mahomes. And hell, Vinny Testaverde Jr. I didn't know he had a son.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Vinny Testaverde Jr. I saw him play one game. He was bench, and in comes in Mahomes. And
Really?
Yeah, I saw him.
Wow.
I saw this like the QBs when Cliff Kingsbury was our head coach.
Wow. I will say, dude, Mahomes has had a really cool career. He's never was he a 5-star recruit or was he
He was like he was a 5-star recruit. Like he had
You
a
think?
fucking but what I remember from those years at Tech was like Mahomes is gonna do some stupid matches. Like we're like saying like, oh my god, don't throw it away, don't do something stupid.
Yeah.
It'll just throw in all that and yeah. But anyways, my scoring prediction, I initially had this as an Eagles loss because it's the Chiefs. It would be something like a 21-17 game because that's how the Chiefs will like to play it. But my heart is saying otherwise. I'm going to fucking break the mold. Eagles are going 2-0. They're going to win 27-20. But this time, AJ Brown, I see an AJ Brown 2-tutty, 100-yard game. Beat the dome moment right there.
I like it. I like it.
Karan, question from an unbiased fan. Which battle 1v1 battle in this game do you anticipate the most? It could be Eagles offense versus Chiefs defense or Chiefs offense versus Eagles defense. Which one are you excited to see most and anticipated?
It's a good question. I gotta see even like
Do you want me to pull up the depth charts?
yeah, pull up the depth chart. I'm gonna say like I was debating between like is it gonna be like a receiver like
I'm pulling it up.
type
Don't
of
worry.
thing. I let me see. You know what? I think it's actually gonna be here we go.
They have Bob Tunyon. Big Bob Tunyon is playing on the Chiefs now? Damn, I didn't even realize that.
He's like the third string.
For me, I think it comes at the line. I think the Chiefs are a really, really well coached organization. So I think if Sue Matayev, I don't think he had a great first game. Where I think I saw when I was watching some film breakdown where he would stand too upright and get pushed back very quickly. He'd be he'd be late to react. So I'm excited to see, especially in those passing situations, if we can beat him or how well they coach him up, if they bring some extra help, because that changes the game. That changes the game entirely. Where they're going to tell Mahomes, like, listen, they don't even need to bring the house on you. They're a strong team. They can pressure you. You got to get the ball out in 1.5, 2 seconds flat. So that's my concern of like, how much extra protection do they bring to him? And then all the mesh things, the crossing routes, the screens, how they develop. That's what I'm really interested to see because I think, frankly, I was surprised at how well the Cowboys moved the ball in the first half. And I think the delay of game or, the weather delay, kind of stymied and neutralized both offenses. I have a little bit less doubt in the Eagles offense, but it's really more the defense and how easy the Cowboys were able to move the ball.
Right.
But again, we'll see. I'm excited for the matchup. I mean, I'm glad it's early on. I'm also a little thankful, knock on wood, that everyone's healthy for the Birds and we get them kind of at a low point. So we'll see. That's why I'm taking the dub. I just gotta see what the cards give me and kind of roll with that.
That is true. Excellent answer. I thought you were going to select Juwan Taylor as your guy to watch out for.
Wait, every time because I just saw him false start. I'm sorry, man. Can we get back to it? Yeah. I mean, like, I also wanted to keep an eye out on the linebackers, Drew Tranquil, Nick Bolton, and Leo Chanel.
Yeah.
Even though they had a spat, they are a well-coached team, just like Karan said. Yeah. I would keep my eye out on them and Chris Jones. And yes, and like even every single member of that Chiefs front seven.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big one to watch. I think Dickerson returned to practice. I think they kind of indicated that he'll be good, but I love Dickerson. I just if he's not 100% or if he's a shell of himself, then we need to adjust and we need to adapt. And Chris Jones he's gonna feast. He's gonna single-handedly wreck us. So it's gonna be a good game. I'm really excited for this.
Yeah,
Quick
I'm
passing game.
also
That's all.
excited to see the fireworks between Trent McDuffie and AJ Brown. I
Yeah.
think Spags is going to probably scheme plays where Trent McDuffie either shades AJ Brown directly or is like direct man coverage 1v1. Whether he has a safety support on him in zone coverage or if he just is a direct 1v like cover corner. That is going to be very interesting to see. All righty. Any final thoughts?
No, I
score
think I'm excited. I think there's another thing. There's I'm sure you guys are well aware of how there has been a repeat winner in the division since like 2004 or something like that. This is like I think this is the 20th anniversary. What do you guys think of that? It's a little premature, but do you think the trend continues, or do you think the Eagles break that?
I don't know, man. I'm just keeping silent on this one. I'm taking this game by game.
Yeah.
Rutherford does not want to jinx anything.
I am very cautious on this one because
yeah, I'm with you. I can't. No one in my family, none of my friends have said anything. It's just like you just kind of see it there. You're like, cool. We'll see.
Cool.
We'll see week 17 or something. Week 18.
Honestly, I just don't think that anybody else in the division is up to the Eagles standard at this point in the season. Maybe the Commanders are up to the standard. I mean, maybe we'll see them fight to the death in week 18, and we'll see the trend continue. But I think the higher probability scenario is that the Eagles repeat as champions and they break the the tradition or the curse, however you want to call it. I just don't think the Commanders are at the level of the Eagles. Right? They still have a couple of holes that they need to fix. We still need to see that offensive line for the Commanders. And I'll get into this in a little bit when the Packers play the Commanders this Thursday night. So, thank you so much, Karan, for coming on to the podcast. I know this is very late for you. We've got an 8 a.m. class tomorrow morning.
But you'll still find a way to get there before me. I see you there. I've been showing up. This is like the third or fourth week of classes now, and every day is like 2 or 3 minutes later. And Anant is there, dude. He's just he's the one explaining to me, like not breaking a sweat, coding all these things too, applying to all these funds. So
Anant's a man.
Yeah, dude, he's a stud hosting this podcast. So thank you guys so much for having me.
There's a reason why he's one of the founding fathers of NFL Masala, man. It's that guy right there.
And now it is the Masala Games of the Week segment for us for week 2. Rakshak, do you want to start?
Okay. Please try not. Please try not to jinx it. Please try not to jinx it. Please try not to jinx it. Please. I'm going to go with Vikings versus Falcons.
Okay. Very
I
interesting
think the reason why,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be very quick about this one because it is I mean, those that don't know this but are well deep into it, it's a rematch. If you think about it, between two quarterbacks, Michael Penix, who needs to be in UW, versus JJ McCarthy.
Exactly.
Guy. It's the Natty rematch.
It's the Natty all over again.
I mean, but then again, it's gonna be both teams are gonna be with heavily amounts of injuries. I mean, just to summarize, some big names for the Vikings: Christian Darrisaw's out with a knee, Andrew Van Ginkel is in concussion protocol, Jeff Okuda with a concussion, Harrison Smith safety is ineligible, is questionable, and then for the wide receivers for the Falcons, Drake London, Darnell Mooney expected to play. James Pierce Jr., who's a rookie and who had generated a lot of good pressures, and Billy Bowman Jr. are both questionable. Atlanta's going to be without Jamal Agnew, special teams. Safety, Jordan Fuller. Hey, you should have kept Justice Simmons when we had a chance.
Exactly.
Offensive lineman, Jack Nelson, and wide receiver, Casey Washington. Dude, it's the O-line again. And, I mean, I honestly think, if I'm going to look at a few things right here. How does Michael Penix handle constant pressure against a Brian Flores defense? Because you know how Brian Flores likes to run. He'll disguise the zone coverage, then all of a sudden he'll bring in a 5-man front and a pressure, a little bit of bracketing and whatnot. And I mean, apparently last week against the Bears, he went zone coverage. So you could be seeing a lot of Isaiah. I think Isaiah Rodgers, ex-Eagle and Super Bowl champ, I felt the Eagles should have re-signed him for instead of that 2-year, $1.5 million that the Vikings gave him. Should have kept him. My point.
Right.
Because Adoree Jackson is a fucking trash head. I mean, but the best matchup is going to be Byron Murphy Jr. versus Drake London. If Drake London's healthy. And then you have Isaiah Rodgers. I think he'll go against Darnell Mooney. But then the Vikings defense, they went zone coverage. With the injuries, I honestly don't know what they'll do. Do they go cover 3 or do they go I think they play zone the entire time.
Right.
And I think Javon Hargrave is going to be your key guy against the Falcons O-line, because as I read the injury report, I mean, it's going to be rough for Penix unless they start doing one thing right. Feed the rock. Give the ball to Bijan a little bit more and make it consistent. And you're going to see the Vikings use a lot of stunts. The Falcons O-line suffered that when they went up against the Bucs. Those are my few highlights on this one. Now for the Falcons defense, another mobile QB that they have to deal with, because JJ McCarthy, he could sling that summer gun right there. And I honestly think it's going to be tough coverage for the Falcons. Whoever they line up, someone better guard Jay Jetta. I don't know who. Do you?
No.
So I
don't know either.
I think this could be a full-on offensive battle. I honestly think so. Because the Falcons are injured to hell. And I don't know who their secondary. I honestly, you know what? Just for the fun of it, I'm going to pull up the Falcons depth chart on who can guard Justin Simmons. You just give me a thumbs up or thumbs down on this one. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
So Billy Bowman, the nickel corner, I think he's probably going to play. So he's going to play nickel. Mike Hughes and AJ Terrell.
AJ Terrell
has to be on this one.
Guy.
But I mean, the Falcons, when they go 3-4 defense under I think they're the head coach Raheem Morris, I thought they did a lot better. But facing off against a talent like Jay Jetta is going to be very tough. And I think, but when JJ McCarthy used the run game, especially with Aaron Jones and that wheel route combo under Kevin O'Connell, funny thing, Raheem Morris is facing off against Kevin O'Connell. I forgot about that. Two
ex-Rams.
This is gonna be a fun. I think it's probably gonna one of those drinking days. They're hey, our offense won. We won the Super Bowl because of our offense. So we won because of our defense and all that.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be an intelligent chess match, but I have the Vikings winning this one by touch. I think it's gonna be 20-10 at best. I think the Falcons will score early, but not that much is going to happen because the run game is going to be controlled, and I just don't trust this. I don't trust the Falcons' defense to stop JJ. I honestly don't.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. I think it's going to be a Vikings victory just because they seem like a more complete team. Though it might be, we also have to see the Vikings defense completely with with their full gamut of players completely healthy. So, yep, it's going to be very interesting to see. Alrighty. Last but not least, I have the Bucks versus the Texans. Man, very nervous victory for the Bucks versus the Falcons, man.
I know, it was close.
Yeah, they needed an amazing throw from Baker with a fantastic catch from Emeka Egbuka, and oh my God, when everybody was like, "Why are you taking Emeka when you have like two amazing,
Mike Evans and
one Hall of Fame receiver and one really good receiver? Why are you taking another one?" Well, this is why, right? He's quickly showed up as one of their top targets, especially when they don't really have the best tight end. He's going to be their third receiving target during the entire season, especially against weaker defenses who only have like one or two corners that you really have to worry about. And if your main guy gets matched up with that one or two really good corner, well, Emeka Egbuka is going to feast from the slot. And they're really going to move him around. But mostly he played from the slot, especially on that last touchdown that he had. It was right down the middle, straight up the seam. And yeah, they had to literally rely on Emeka Egbuka and Younghoe Koo missing a field goal. Classic Falcons.
Falconing.
Exactly. But now they have a ferocious defense in the Texans that they have to deal with, right? Because if they try and run the ball with Bucky Irving in that offensive line, they're going to get walloped. The Texans allowed the 7th lowest rushing yards per attempt in week 1 at just 2.9. Now, and they also faced the Rams offense, which, has actual good running backs. They're not like, the Bengals, so they did face a running team, and you also saw the Bucks not really flexing that rushing offense completely against the Falcons. When you take a look at their overall yards before contact per rushing attempt, let's say, the Bucks were 3.1, which is high. And when you look at yards per carry, they were also pretty high. So there was some success in the rushing game against the Falcons, but it's going to be much tougher against the Texans. Now, what they can do is pass against this Texans, especially without Devin Singletary now. The Texans allowed the 9th highest adjusted net yards per attempt against the Rams. Yes, the Rams only had 15 points. And the Texans didn't really pressure that much either. They were bottom 3rd in terms of pressure rate versus the Rams. Now, they did generate 3 sacks, which is pretty high for one game. That places them in the top, tied for like 8th. So that was pretty high. But I think this Bucks offensive line is slightly better than the Rams, so it's going to be a little bit harder to get to get Baker.
Yeah.
I think it's I think for the Bucks, what they have to do against this Texans defense is to keep that defense on their toes by having a lot of easy passes to complete, so to speak, easy passes.
Right.
A couple good
That's what I was
slants here and
thinking,
there. Right, a couple of good slants here and there, a couple screen passes. Baker Mayfield's really good at screen passes because he's a very accurate quarterback. So get a couple of screen passes to Bucky Irving going. Get a couple of slants going to Emeka Egbuka and Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. And just keep the ball in your possession and keep the defense on the field. Do not give a chance for CJ Stroud to potentially heat up. Now, they're not facing the Rams defense anymore, which is a top 5 defense in the league, if I say so myself. I think they are very much so. But when you face the Bucks defense, one of the things that they had struggled with is sacking the quarterback. They only had one sack in the entire game during the first week, and they have a very low pressure percentage as well. Only 10.6% pressure rate. They also didn't blitz that much either. Only 21% of the time, which is like 15th in the league. So not only did they not generate a lot of pressure, they did not get to the quarterback. They did not hurry the quarterback. They were like bottom 12 in the league. And they allowed over 100 yards throughout through the air.
Mm-hmm.
And they allowed the highest yards after catch. So, if you're the Texans offense, this is the defense for you to face to get that offense off the ground, and actually have some success. I would see a lot of targets towards Nico Collins, utilizing Nico Collins in different positions on the field. I think Nick Chubb is going to have a pretty decent game as well, because when you look at this rushing defense for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it is very good. They have the 5th best rushing defense so far, only allowing 2.5 yards per attempt. But Nick Chubb probably in the receiving game is where he's going to get his targets and his success. So I think for the Texans offense, you definitely focus on getting Nick Chubb the ball in the receiving game.
Run game has to be on point.
And not just run game, it's the running backs. It's the targets to the running backs that have to be on point.
Well, that's fair enough, yeah.
Yeah. Now, as to the score prediction, I don't know. I think this is a toss-up. Because
you think it's a toss-up?
I think it is a toss-up because we are underrating this Bucks offense. I think they are going to be one of the best offenses.
I think the Bucks offense is much more elite than what we see with the Texans defense with their current setup at the moment. But if you want to talk about toss-up, I got a coin.
Okay, let's do it. Heads Bucks, tails Texans.
Okay, 2 out of 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is an NFL Masala first.
Exactly.
Tails.
Okay, Texans.
Tails. Heads.
Okay.
Heads, Bucks.
Okay, it is the Bucks. Now, Derek Stingley will be playing, so we probably should have done this after I said that Derek Stingley will be playing. So it looks like the Texans defense is in full strength. CJGJ is going to be playing. Kalen Bullock is going to be playing. So this defense is going to be in full strength.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the one thing that we do have to look into is they'll be in full strength. So expect Nick Chubb and Dameon Pierce to be very active in the receiving game for the Texans. But hey, let's take the Bucks. Let's take them 24-20. I think that's a very good score for this game.
I think that's a good one. And just to assist you on this one, I am actually going to pull up the over odds on this one. For those that are interested in the betting market, this is for you guys. The Bucks. So the Bucks. Whoa! Apparently the Bucks are a 2.5 underdog. They're plus 2.5. So
they expect it to be a very close game then.
Yeah, according to ESPN Sportsbook. So I mean, for those that are understanding this one, I'll say this. I think the Bucks win this game by again. I would not be at 24-21. I think it's going to be another Baker Mayfield heroic. CJ Stroud. It's that Texas offensive line that gives me a lot of concern. And Vita Vea is going to. I honestly fear for CJ Stroud's life against Vita Vea. That's all I can imagine.
That is true. That is true. That is something that we have to contend with.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So yeah, that's going to be it for us today. If you guys have enjoyed, please leave us a review at one of the 4 podcast platforms that we host our podcasts on: Apple, Google, Spotify, and Pocket Casts. And Buckchuck.
They could also find us on YouTube, so make sure you like, share, subscribe, and click on the bell icon for more notifications. We're also on social media, Twitter/X, Instagram, and Threads at NFL Masala 2022, all lowercase. That is at NFL Masala 2022.
And now we're going to hit you guys with our signature outro. Go, Pack, go.
And fly, Eagles, fly. Take care and have a good night.